we're ready, we go straight into apologies.
Thank you, Chair. I have apologies from Councillors Bert Paul, Dave Williams, Anne James, Brian Ellis and Daniel Dixon-Miles.
Everyone here is reminded of the need to make a declaration of interest. The appropriate point. Mayor's report. I'd just like to report that since our last meeting I've been to the carnival, which I think was a huge success. Likewise the civic service, very well attended. Thank you to everybody who came. And Armed Forces Day, thank you to everyone who paraded. That was much appreciated. Thank you. And yesterday I went to Larkson Park, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and we're on the duck race. Very good outcome. That was great fun. Clark, there was a note to talk about something that's coming up.
London Luton Airport.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. We've had a notification from London Luton Airport that they're holding a public surgery, they call it, in the Park Hall on 31st of August this year, between the hours of 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock, for any members of the public to come along, talk about area concerns, about the new proposals for the airport that is now in place. It's just an open forum of questions and answers, and London Luton Airport are sort of managing that facility. We will be publicising it through the website, and we're going to tweet it near the time so it's a bit high profile, and then the public are made aware of it.
So what was the time of that meeting again?
4 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
4 o'clock to 7, thank you.
31st of August.
Yeah, 31st, yeah.
Thank you. And do we have any public questions in accordance with Manual 164?
None.
Do we have any questions which have previously been submitted by members of the council? Is this an appropriate place to break off and just allow Councillor Canfield to say what you wanted to say?
It would, very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Madam. I will stand. Yes, I'd just like to say thank you for everybody's forbearance during my absence, now on the road to recovery, and a particular thanks to all of those that substituted for me and took on the extra work and the extra responsibility. It's very much appreciated. I also appreciate the letters of condolence. No, that's the wrong word. The letters of sympathy and emails and telephone calls and the rest of it. Thank you very much for your support. It really, really is appreciated. Great. Thank you.
It's lovely to see you back, so thank you for that. We'll go straight to minutes. Can we confirm the minutes of the annual meeting held on the 9th of May? Those in favour? That is unanimous. Minutes. So we'll go straight to the minutes of Plan A. Councillor Williams isn't here, so can we go to Councillor Gillen?
Oh, right, yes, of course. I would like to present the minutes of the meeting of the 12th of January 2016 as a true and accurate reflection.
And another one?
Oh, yes. Oh, are we doing all of them all at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. The 3rd of May and the 31st of May 2016 as a true and accurate reflection.
Thank you. And planning committee B, Councillor Heritage.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to present to Council the minutes of the Planning B Committee that was for the meetings on the 17th of May and the 14th of June, and there are no recommendations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
So we move to Environment Committee. Could I ask Councillor Farmer to present the minutes?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to present the minutes of the meeting held on the 20th of January, which I was not at, and since I've only just found out I'm presenting them, I'm very quickly seeing if there are any recommendations.
No,
there are. No. Thank you. May I also present the minutes of the meeting held on the 18th of May? Could members note that they are also receiving minutes contained in exempt business in the blue papers, as these minutes are confidential. There are no recommendations to council in these confidential minutes. If members wish to raise a specific issue associated with these minutes, it will necessitate the meeting to go into part 2 exempt business to conduct this business and require all members of the public and the press here today to leave on the matter as discussed. But I am proposing the exempt minutes are received at this time with no discussion. Can this be agreed?
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. And I'm just quickly looking to see if there are any
Page
recommendations.
63.
There is a recommendation
Yeah.
somewhere, isn't there?
63.
Yes, that the Environment Committee policy statement for 2016-17 is approved. May I ask?
There's a report
members
on
of
the
my-
agenda that covers all committees.
Shall we take them all?
Take them all at once.
Thank you very much.
Very quickly. I think that's the only recommendation. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
So now we go to the minutes of the Policy and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have pleasure in presenting the minutes of the Policy and Finance Committee, which met on the 8th of June 2016. There is one recommendation to Council from the general part of the meeting, and that is to recommend to Council that the Policy and Finance Committee draft policy statement for 2016-17, including the agreed amendments, be approved, and the report on this is at agenda item 8.2. But before we do that, you will note that you're also receiving minutes contained in exempt business on blue papers. These minutes are clearly confidential. There are 3 recommendations to Council at minute 11.1, point 2 and point 3, all of which relate to progress costs and the releasing of general and earmarked reserves. If members wish to raise a specific issue associated with these minutes and the recommendations they contain, it will necessitate the meeting to go into part 2 to conduct this business and require all members of the public and press here today to leave while this matter is discussed. I am proposing the exempt minutes are received at this time, and the 2 recommendations to Council at minute 11.2 and 11.3 are approved with no discussion. However, with regard to minute 11.1, it is recommended that this be withdrawn at this stage pending more information being reported back. Can this be agreed?
Thank you. Those in favour? Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, could I ask that draft policy statement on agenda item 8.2 be also agreed?
Altogether with environment.
Yes, the whole lot together.
Yeah. So if we agree 7.1, then it's the draft policy statement, and then agree that we don't go into blue separately.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next item is the Strategic Planning Committee. Are we not voting?
I'm not voted.
Are we not voting altogether?
We can do. I just took it as read that there was this normal business and exempt business taken as described by Councillor Maynard.
Okay.
And I minutes accordingly.
Okay. Right. So we've got the Strategic Planning Committee. Unfortunately,
these were minutes that were unfortunately not presented to the last council meeting, so they've been carried over. There's no recommendation to council, so it's just receiving the minutes.
I was present, they look correct to me. People,
I was too.
good, thank you. So if you can indicate that accepting these minutes, that would be appreciated. Thank you very much. So then we go straight to officers' reports. We've got the calendar of meetings. So very straightforward reasoning for changing at least 2, and possibly the third one, the Environment Committee meeting.
Yes, Chair. At this stage, we don't know whether it's actually going to coincide with a district council meeting, but it is on the district council's website at a provisional date, so it might be prudent to change it so that town council members are not sort of compromised by 2 meetings.
Do we have a suggested or?
Again, similar to deposit finance, you can take it on the Tuesday evening, the night before, and then it keeps it in the same sort of timescale. Unfortunately, Councillor Brian Ellis is not here, so he's unable to sort of comment directly.
Councillor Farmer, can I ask, would that be acceptable, moving it to the Tuesday?
Well, it would, for me, yes. I can't answer for Councillor Ellis, but I don't think offhand I've got anything then. I'm sure I can work around
As
it.
long as we've got one of you.
Yes, as long as you've got one of us, we'll sort it out.
Excellent. Councillor Heritage.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I ask our officer, please, how far in advance we check meetings like tonight, where we've lost 3 members of the council due to a quite important Trans North meeting, one of which in fact I should have been out, but I'm here. And as Trans North covers Harpenden decisions, I think it is quite important that those members of this council who are double-headed as such do represent Harpenden at Trans North meetings. Can we try, wherever possible, to try and, I realise it's difficult to move full council meetings, but they will move Trans North either, so can we look ahead, say a year, and see whether this sort of conflict, on a normal committee meeting, I accept that our apologies would be accepted, but on full council, I think it's very difficult.
Can I respond by saying, Chair, when a calendar meeting is prepared, we do look 1 year ahead. We do consult the District Council on their schedule of meetings. The report that came to this council, I can't remember, I think it was the February meeting, did indicate the number of clashes of meetings, but no comment was made at the time, and they were just agreed and resolved to go through. So that's where the clashes arise this year. But yes, I'll take on board the comments and we'll double check for next time.
Thank you.
So the recommendation is to, oh, I'm so sorry.
Do beg your pardon, Cohen. Can I just make the comment that there used to be a protocol between the District Council and the parishes, and there was sort of agreed dates and an agreed cycle. Is there any chance that we can make an approach to the District Council that it's reinstated, because it's obviously becoming a problem? I mean, in my experience, it used to be that Monday nights was reserved to town and parish council meetings, along with plans at that stage in those days, and you knew which one out of the 4 that you couldn't have the parish meeting, and it also included the calendars for those parishes that were clerked by St Albans District Council officers as well. It just seems to be something that's been lost in the mire, and everybody thinks they can actually sort of keep swapping and changing meetings.
Thank you, Councillor Farmer.
Madam Mayor, I was
Sorry, I understand.
just going to make the point, I agree with Councillor Campbell. However, wearing my other hat, I would say it has become a lot harder to always achieve that, because there are so many meetings now. Unfortunately, I think there's bound to be a degree of overlap, but I think what we need to work on is to try and, as far as possible, is overlap the crucial meetings, but I think we're going to have to accept there's going to be some.
That's what I was trying to say.
No more, in which case we go to the recommendation, which is the amended date 10th of October for full council and 6th of December for policy and finance. Those in favour?
So are we taking the environment amendment subject to Councillor Ellis' approval?
Actually no, because Councillor Farmer says she can do it, so I think we'll go for it. No. Yes, so that's three dates. I think we're all in favour.
We know the 10th of October is not the council.
No, it's
Okay.
It's okay, thank you, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, I think that was unanimous. In which case then we go to the draft policy statement and to the recommendations. Anyone have any comments?
It was on the Policy and Finance Committee. This is for, I agree with all of the objectives on this. It was just whether we should have an additional one, something like ensuring adequate risk management. You know, we've got the business continuity plan. Some words need to be thought up, but I thought that maybe we ought to have something similar.
And possibly something that reflects that we've got the new
The new risk management working
committee.
party.
Yes,
Yes.
working party. Yes, I think that's a very good suggestion.
Okay.
That's something we can do.
Yes, we can have that in.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Martin.
Yes, this is under the Environment Committee, allotment, page 83. A point where it says work with the allotment organisation to keep vacant plots tidy and the surrounding areas in good order to attract new plot holders. This is something that we do have major issues with, obviously as a trustee and allotment holder myself at East Harpenden Garden Club. In what ways will the council be able to help the organisations keep plots clear? Because that's not something they help with at the moment. And also we do have a lot of problems actually with the surrounding areas, i.e. the boundaries that the town council does have responsibility for. So I'm assuming that's the same wording that we've run with year after year, and yet I don't actually feel that that's either of those points are actually happening at the moment. So I'm wondering if you can give me some advice about how that will happen going forward, or whether that should be reworded in some way or even taken out. Thank you.
I'd say that David Wayne is working hard at the moment, as you know, on reorganising maps for each allotment site.
Yes.
And that's still to be agreed with John O'Connor, as far as I know. I don't think we have their full agreement yet, do we?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
So that will take care of the surrounding areas. At the moment, I think, again, David Wayne, but he's still new to the post, notes the number of vacant plots and encourages the two societies to do the best that they can. I don't think it is a town council responsibility.
Mm.
So,
I think perhaps it should delete the keep vacant plots tidy, because the town council is doing it.
Married to someone who has a plot. One of the other issues is, in terms of tidiness, is people who don't keep their plots, who continue to pay for the plots but do nothing on them for year after year after year. They're overgrown and they weed strewn and cause problems for all the other plot holders. I think there's a case for saying that the town council at some point should step in and, you know, if they don't keep their plots working, they have to cover them. You know, if for example you're not well and there is a year where you can't work it, you should be encouraged to do what they do in the south allotments, which is cover it with black plastic so that nothing grows on it for that year, rather than just letting it go to rack and ruin. And that should be at the expense of the individual plot holder.
yes, I don't think it's town council's.
No, it's up to them.
Sorry,
Councillor
can I just
Keane.
raise a few points? Yeah, I agree with Councillor Martin in many senses. In the South Harpenden Allotment and Garden Society, which I'm a plot holder and committee member, members are encouraged to cover their plots. They're bringing a new rule where it's got to be at least 50% cultivated. Okay, so that will help, actually, with respect to that. The chief problem for the South Harpenden Allotment and Garden Society is the hedge trimming, and what they're doing is they're working on their maps and giving their maps to David Wayne, you know, so that he can work with John O'Connor as to the optimum trimming of the hedges.
Well, yeah, I agree with both points, but obviously it's the wording of this particular one. It's the town council's obviously responsibility, and it isn't to keep vacant plots tidy, so that is something that both clubs are trying to deal with themselves. But I'm just saying that obviously that wording's not actually accurate as it is at the moment.
We could rephrase work with the allotment organisations to encourage them to keep vacant plots tidy. I think we have to put the emphasis back that it does refer back to Shags and East Harpenden. So Councillor Heritage and Councillor Lindley.
So I'm just wondering whether either of the two societies involved have thought of writing an advert and putting it in our notice board outside Lloyd's Bank. I don't think there's anything on there that says availability of allotments, where they are, who to contact. just think it would be useful. There are so many people stand and read those notices as a public
Yeah,
type of letter or put there, is there one already in there?
I think there should be, definitely in East Harpenden Gardening Club, and we've made a massive campaign in the last year to advertise all over town, and I know that our new chairman, Alison has made great progress in, handing out lots of posters to the town council.
Quite taken.
Sure they are.
Okay. Councillor Nina, Councillor Julie.
If we change the point to encourage the organisation, we should just cover what we've been talking about.
Okay. That was a good point raised by Councillor Heritage. I think that I'll also have a look at that, because I think that the East Harpenden Society is well represented there. Maybe we're not well represented on shags, is it?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, are we generally in agreement with just altering that third point? Just altering the wording of that third point to reflect that it's the allotment organisation, and we are encouraging them to keep vacant plots tidy. Those in favour of that change of wording? Thank you. Unanimous. Councillor Gillen?
Well, on a separate point, can I just make one? I would stand up. I've lost this neck. I noticed that the Blackford Springs Working Party has not got a new member yet. Can we agree that we need to basically confirm a new member soon, and so they can basically learn their brief, because it's obviously quite an important one, what with obviously changes to their HQ going on at the moment. I think I read, I can't remember what page or in what section of the document it was, that the new member was still to be confirmed. So obviously that was Councillor Cash was a member, along with myself and Councillor Mary Maynard. So if we can sort of agree to...
I can't immediately see it in this section.
I think it was in the reports.
It's in the annual report.
Yeah.
Ethics, showing committee structure.
Okay, we'll comment at that stage.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. In which case, no other comments. The recommendation is subject to any amendments to draft policy statements for 2016-2017 be approved. Those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. So the next item is the annual report 2015 to 16. Again, any comments on the annual report?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I've sent some, what I think corrections should be to Paul Smith. If you look at this annual report, page 17, allotments, on 8.1.3, it talks about the South Harpenden Allotment and Garden Society manages 9 sites. That's now reduced to 8 sites. And because of the depots being built on Heath Close. Okay. So I just made that suggestion, and that should be amended there. And also I think there was another comment. Okay. Achievements in the year 2015 to 2016, it says successfully transferred 2 allotment plots. It should have been 2 allotment sites, but now it's 1 allotment site in Oakley Road, and the other one, Heath Close, is being used for the depot. So it just needs wording, appropriate wording there.
Okay. Well, so district did actually transfer 2 plots, so that's correct. But you're right, they're sites.
Yes, they transferred 2 sites. Yes, that's correct. It's just simply the tidying up of the words.
I do.
Yes, could I just repeat my point again? Sorry, about the Blackford Springs, page 42. It was on the working party, it's still to be confirmed who will be the other councillor on there. And as I say, I think it's an important working party, what with the changes that the volunteers are experiencing at the moment. So the new councillors appointed soon, they can obviously learn the brief and a little bit about what's happening in a bit more detail to be effective on the working party.
Okay, thank you. I think it's a good suggestion. I think we'll liaise with Councillor N. Councillor Martin.
Yes, thank you. On page 8, I think it's a small error, just in that we've got shags and EHAG. I think that's obviously referring to Harpenden Garden Club. Down the bottom of slide 22.
Oh yes, I've got you. Yes. Yes, that's not quite right, is it? We just need to change that to garden.
And shall I just go on to another
Yes,
point?
got another one. Yeah.
On page 17 again, just to reiterate what Councillor Cooley said about the allotment, but obviously the wording, it won't actually be 15 allotment sites, because one has obviously now become a depot, so that should be
But this is 15, 16, so we did own 15, but next year can show 14.
Okay. And obviously where it does say successfully transferred to allotment site, I don't believe the plots have been, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that they have been successfully transferred. I don't think that work's actually been finished yet with transferring those plot holders.
I think that's slightly separate, so this is referring to transferring the site from district.
Okay.
So I don't think we actually mention at this point transferring the two allotments for their allotment holders. That's a separate issue.
Rightio. Page 14. Perhaps there was some wishful thinking under East Ward. My name's been totally omitted. Isn't that fine?
Page 15?
Page 40.
Oh, 40.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, that was noticed, yes.
I had already been notified for that.
Yeah. No, it's not wishful thinking. You're all right.
And also, on page 42, just to reiterate again what Councillor Gillen said about the Springs needing an extra councillor. Also, the allotment working party suffered last year as well, with only 2 members, I believe. So it was quite hard to have the previous meeting, to be core and find them. So, I'd really appreciate if both of those could be looked into and
Yes.
sorted as soon as possible.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Oh, sorry, Councillor.
Can I just make one point regarding...
Do sit down.
all right,
I
thank you.
see you're in trouble.
Regarding the contact details for the councillors. I noticed that I seem to have the same telephone numbers as Pat, 764161. I don't think that's my phone number, and I'd like to maybe just replace that with my mobile number, because that would probably be the best form for any people in Harpenden to contact me. So if Paul wants to take my mobile number now and to replace it with...
I'll do it later.
Do it later, yeah, sure.
That's quite sweet.
I don't know what happened there.
Well, thank you.
And this Pat's had to
receive all the concerns.
Assume you've just got a messaging service.
Any other comments? In which case, can we go to the recommendation, which is that it be approved? Annual report 2015-16 be approved. Those in favour? Yep, unanimous. Well done. So then we go to the internal audit report, in which we have to note and accept the report from the internal auditor and the management response to the audit committee. Does anybody have any questions? Any comments? Does anybody want to clarify anything with Paul? I mean, the commentary was obviously very straightforward.
Yes, yeah, it was actually quite a good report. It wasn't quite as good as last year. We got a clean bit of help last year. So they found 2 comments, which is why they put them as comments rather than recommendations, which is quite helpful. And that's just to say, on the message response, we've already implemented them. So, well done.
May I just say, Madam Mayor, I don't know them 2 rather small technical comments, but I think officers are to be congratulated on continuing to manage the finances so well and to achieve a good standard of report.
Yes, absolutely. Totally support that. Thank you, Councillor Wheeler.
Just a general sort of point. It's nothing to help explain. The internal audit and the external audit, there's been a sort of transfer. It helps us with money-wise, and having more work done internally with people who do know what they're doing, rather than spending more money externally to help.
Excellent. Good. So in supporting what Councillor Farmer said, can we go to the two recommendations? So the report rather is noted and accepted, and the response are reviewed and approved. Thank you. Once again, unanimous. The next one I've got is the annual governance statement. Again, any questions or comments on this? So they need to be approved and then they're signed and submitted for audit. If there are no comments, I'll go straight to recommendation. Those in favour? Recommendation unanimous. Thank you very much. And the next item is the annual return 2015-16. Again, this is something for the Mayor and for the RSO to sign and then submit for audit. Again, any questions, any comments? No? In which case, can I go straight to the two recommendations? So the one is section 2, well, you will read it. The two recommendations, those in favour? Thank you very much. Okay, so I think the next one is the year-end accounts 2015-16. And in this we have the two recommendations again, the outstanding levels earmarked in general reserve at the end of March, noted and approved, and the statement of accounts signed by the Mayor and the responsible financial officer. Any queries, any comments? Yes, Councillor Martin.
Sorry, can I make a point here about the statement of accounts? Is that the right place to do this?
Yes, yeah.
Can I just point out on just the first page, my surname's M-A-R-T-Y-N. Thank you.
Apologies, Councillor Martin. Are you happy? In which case, can I take the two recommendations? Those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to exempt business, which we've done except for, did we want to discuss 11.1.3 or have we just withdrawn that completely?
Withdrawn it.
Can you go back to the meeting? In which case I declare the meeting finished at 8:05. Thank you very much everybody for coming.